is an ABC 26 News Special, Saints Saturday Post-Game Special.
Hi, and welcome to the post-game show. The three amigos here with you tonight. Ed Daniels, my Friday Night Football partner, J.T. Curtis, and the president of NewOrleans.com Sports, Ken Trahan. We wish we were here on a winning note, but unfortunately, the New Orleans Saints go down tonight to the Dallas Cowboys 24-17. The Indianapolis Colts at 14-0, now the only remaining unbeaten in the National Football League. We'll hear from head coach Sean Payton in just a few minutes. Analysis from Ken and JT. But first, let's check out the highlights tonight as Dallas wins by 7 at the Superdome. Dallas's ability to generate pressure against Drew Brees tonight was big. There's Anthony Spencer coming off the outside edge there, and that really knocks them out of field goal range. But in the 14-1, as they fall to Dallas 24-17, the Cowboys 9-5. They are the victors tonight. Let's go to the Superdome. Head coach Sean Payton at the podium.
We were fortunate that we got that opportunity again, but we couldn't get anything going really, and we didn't do a good enough job on those early downs, and we left ourselves in a hole basically, and we weren't able to come out of it.
Coach, straight back here. You talked about third downs offensively, but on defense, guys just couldn't seem to get off the field. Can you talk?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's that statistic. When you're struggling defending third down or converting third downs, your possession, all your numbers really hurt your opportunities to win, and I think that's what you're referring to, and that's certainly what happened tonight. And Dallas did a good job.
And Coach, could you talk about just how everything is still in front of your team? You still control your own destiny for home field advantage. Even though you lost the game tonight, you didn't lose, I guess, any standing with that #1 seed, which you currently hold.
Well, we've got a little bit more time here. We talked a little bit about what's in front of us, and I do think it's important that we're able to continue to work and clean up some of the things that we didn't do well. But that being said, you're right. And we'll digest this. It'll sting a little bit going down, but nonetheless, it is what it is, and we've got to get back to work next week. We have 2 important games in front of us, and we'll take that approach and have a good practice beginning Wednesday of next week.
Coach, over here, it seems like Reggie Bush was certainly on his way toward having a tremendous game, and then he gets hurt. Could you tell us about his health status and how big of a loss was he?
Nothing on his health status. Obviously, when you lose a player, like Reggie, you prefer not to, and yet, we've got to fill in like we have all year.
All right, Saints head coach Sean Payton at the podium. Now, when you look at this game, JT and Kenny, let's start with you. As far as the defensive standpoint, it just appears to me that all the injuries that the Saints have had over the last couple of weeks, they survived at Washington, they won in Atlanta, but maybe the fact that they're just a beat-up football team caught up with them tonight.
I don't think there's any question about it. This was coming for 3 weeks now. There's no question that when you looked at what happened in the game against Washington and then against Atlanta, they were fortunate to win both of those games. They played a better football team tonight. That was a very desperate football team that was playing at a very high level, and they beat them up front. And the Saints, of course, had no ability to run the football because of time and because of the down and distance and the fact that they were down so much in the game. So as a result, they were one-dimensional, and Dallas beat them at the line of scrimmage.
I think one of the things, too, that we saw tonight is the fact that 2 guys that are so important on defense is Cedric Ellis in the middle on the run stuff and Jabari Greer at cover corner. Kenny made the comment in the car when we were coming back over here after the game. Maybe Jenkins is better inside at safety. Maybe he's not a corner.
Well, he's a young kid. He's a rookie. He put him in a real tough situation. No question, the injuries have hurt. But, Ed, the bottom line is this team is 13-1. All the pressure's off of them. They can go out, they can play football, and the whole thing is to get ready for that playoff, get that home field advantage. What a tremendous advantage that would be. But right now, everybody in this city would have taken 13-1 at this stage of the game and been smiling.
And you know what? I think in the long run, I've posed this question before to the players in the locker room. I think in a way, look, no loss is a good loss, but if there's such a thing as a good loss, the pressure's off. Now you can just worry about the main objective anyhow and forget all the other chatter.
Yeah, everything else was fool's gold. to a large degree. And a loss is not a good thing. It never is. But now the focus is what it should have been on and was on anyway, which is to win the Super Bowl. And the only way that's going to happen is twofold. Number one, get a bye. You've got that. Number two, get healthy. You need to get that, because very obviously this team is not healthy enough to compete with the best teams in the league right now with their relative health situation.
All right, I think Adam Norris is standing by live right outside the Saints interview tent down at the Superdome. Adam, what do you have for us?
Hey, Ed, I was just listening into Sean Payton, some of his remarks after the game, and a lot of the Saints' struggles, and there were many, came down to third downs, both on offense and on defense. Offensively, they didn't convert on their first third down until about a minute remained in the game, which for an offense this prolific is just shocking. Secondarily, on the defensive side of the ball, the Saints defense couldn't get off the field in third downs. The Cowboys did an excellent job converting. Part of that was due to the fact they did well on early downs on first and second by picking up big chunks of yardage, often with the ground game, and setting themselves up for good situations on third down. And when the Saints defense thought that they had pinned them back, Tony Romo would come through with a clutch throw, or they'd pick up that third down. They'd pick up that first down, I should say, and that was a lot of it. And also, one of my own observations that was probably clear to most everybody back there, but Drew Brees was harassed, probably unlike any game so far this season. DeMarcus Ware gave Jermon Bushrod everything he could handle, and he didn't have nearly enough continuity, and that started with Brees being under so much duress tonight. He got hit harder tonight than I think I've seen all season, and the Saints weren't able to generate much offensively. Sean Payton said, in fact, this team was fortunate to even be in the game down one score with so little time left, as poorly as they had played. Ed?
We'll hear back from Adam Norris a little bit later outside the interview tent and right outside the Saints locker room. We'll go back to Adam a little bit later. Okay, one of the things that Adam touched on, how important is the left tackle spot? And if you were Sean Payton, are you concerned? I know, look, it's easy to criticize Bushrod, but you were down 24-3. They know you're throwing the football. Is the fact that you were behind, was that part of the problem?
Well, let me say how important that left spot is. They made a movie about it called The Blind Side. It's all about that left tackle. I'm telling you, you've got to be able to protect the guy's blind side. But Spencer and Ware tonight, I thought, were the difference in the ball game offensively for us. The pressure they put tonight was enormous. We've got to obviously get that fixed if we're going to be able to compete against the big boys in the big time.
Because that left tackle, hypothetically, would be blocking Jared Allen in an NFC Championship game. Exactly. That's a tough matchup.
And a scary thought, too. And the other thing that you carry forward on JT's premise is the fact that Dallas, I thought, covered extremely well tonight. When Brees did have time, he could not get the ball outside to wide receivers. And when he did, they were oftentimes covered. Big play, end zone, Henderson slipping on a comeback ball that Brees threw, couldn't make the catch, hit him in the hands, would have changed the entire complexion of the game.
Our Saints postgame show continues right here after this break on ABC 26.
Special.
The Dallas Cowboys defeat the New Orleans Saints tonight 24-17. Ed Daniels here to break it down with my Friday Night Football partner JT Curtis and the president, El Presidente, of NewOrleans.com Sports. The big kahuna, the big man on campus.
Big kahuna.
Wow.
The big kahuna.
Depends on what you mean by big.
In more ways than one. All right, at this point, let's check out some of the big plays in the game. Coach kind of broke down some of the plays that he...
Wasn't the double move. If you're going to see, look, the corner sitting, and there should have been a safety over the top. He should have funneled him inside.
A game like this, I think you've seen it all year, Kenny, that when Jenkins is in there, just like Washington did, they're going to pick on the rookie, correct?
Continuously, and they went after Fujita early in this game as well, both with the run and the pass, just to see how he was, to test him out a little bit since he was just returning. In the case of Jenkins, I agree with JT. It's tough. You're a rookie put in a tough situation. If you're playing the dime or the nickel, you're playing a third or fourth receiver. When you're elevated to playing a two receiver or a one as he did some of the night, it's much more difficult.
You're playing Miles Austin. You're playing the one. No question about that. All right, another big play in the game as selected by Coach, touchdown lead. And this is big because not only do they get the field goal, but they get the second half kickoff. So what do you do here?
Well, you know, the bottom line of this thing is he played the head game with them all week. He wasn't going to play, You know what, Ed? Big players come through in big games and make big plays. They don't stand on the sideline. They find a way to get themselves on the field. That's exactly what he did, and he was a difference in the ball game tonight, in my opinion.
But the fact that the guy played with a neck injury, that really surprised me.
Well, he just had an easy time with Bushrod all night, as you saw, and a lot of that was because of the situation. just pinned his ears back much of the night with no running game to be concerned about. In addition to that, the Saints had protection breakdowns with guys coming clean off the corner on more than one occasion, resulting in sacks.
Okay, what about chip help there? A tight end or running back? When you see that, you're an offensive play caller. What do you do?
Well, you know, it's hard to criticize a guy who's been so successful. But I think when you put a guy on the edge with a rusher like Ware, you've got to find a way to chip it back or chip a tight end and get a delayed release. Obviously, he couldn't handle him tonight. That'll be an adjustment they'll have to make when they play those kind of pass rushers. When you're playing the elite guys, you've got to find a way to help that left tackle a little bit.
Okay, we picked this one out as another big play in the game. This was in the third quarter. The Saints trying to get back in the game, and it's a long pass as Drew Brees has to scramble a little bit, gets away from the rush and goes up top, and Devery Henderson appears to have this one, but it looks like he tried to plant with his foot on the turf and stumbled and didn't catch the football. He catches that. It's 24-10. Saints are right back in the game.
Well, you know, again, this guy has made such improvement, and Curtis Johnson has done such a great job with the New Orleans Saints receivers. Again, he needs to make that catch. If we're going to win and contend for the Super Bowl, you've got to make those kind of plays. In our game, in our high school game, we did not make those kind of catches at times, and we lost the game. And against a good team, that's going to happen to you. It was a tough catch, but one he needs to make.
You know, one of the things, and you pointed this out as we were watching the game, one of the things that is truly stunning tonight is how few big plays the Saints had in the passing game for a team that has been absolutely unstoppable at home in this area.
Combination of both the pass rush against them and the good coverage by their corners, as I alluded to. Wide receivers that I observed just didn't get separation throughout the course of the game. David Thomas becomes a focal point in the passing game. He has a career high, I believe, 9 catches in the game, and I think that's largely because of the fact that Dallas did such a good job on the outside.
They conceded some throws to him and, of course, shut down the Saints' big play guys outside. Okay, Adam Norris is live outside the Saints locker room with more. There you are. Hello, Adam.
Hi, Ed. We're joined by Saints offensive lineman Zach Strief. And Zach, when you saw Nick Folk miss the field goal, you guys are still in the game, 1 score away. What'd you think?
You know, obviously we have confidence in that situation that, you know, we can go down and score. We've been in that situation, and, you know, unfortunately we weren't able to, and, you know, that credit goes to Dallas.
A loss, your first one of the season. I guess, give me your emotions. It's somewhat dispiriting, but big picture, you guys are still in great shape.
Yeah, I mean, it's upsetting, and it's upsetting for us and for our players and coaches, and, you know, for our fans, and you know, but then again, you know, it's another game, and we need to move on, and we are in good position, and we need to just keep it going.
A lot went wrong for you guys, both offensively and defensively tonight. Will it be difficult to put this one behind you? Is it something that will, you think, rattle this team's confidence at all?
You know, I mean, we've been working all year on it. It's the next game, and obviously this will sting for a couple days, but, you know, when we go back to work, it's going to be, you know, Tampa Bay, and that's the next challenge. And the same way with a win, you got to let them go, and you got to move on. And, you know, I think we have enough leadership and character to do that.
What in your mind contributed to, especially in the first half, the slow start offensively, and you guys really didn't quite look like yourselves tonight for most of the game?
You know, it's hard to say now. It's hard to say after just kind of watching. You know, obviously we didn't execute very well, and you know, we'll look over that tomorrow and find out why that was, and because you know, we need to get it fixed, and you know, we haven't started very fast the last couple weeks, and I'm sure it'll be a big focus this week.
Was that one of the more ferocious pass rushes you guys have dealt with this season?
Absolutely, and you know, again, the credit goes to Dallas and to their players. They did a good job, and you know, they've got good players, and then their staff put together a good plan, and we give them all the credit.
Zach, thanks for your time. Appreciate it. That's Saints offensive lineman Zach Strief, who's been an instrumental part of the line this year.
Obviously, the offense has been so good all year for you guys, and tonight it struggled. Was it
tackle Jamal Brown? Ed, let's go back to you and the guys.
All right, Adam Norris live at the Superdome. We'll check back with Adam a little bit later on. Okay, the game is over. You go on into the locker room as a coach. You still have a lot of football to play. What's your post-game speech to the team?
It's really simple. Hey, we didn't play our best. We were still in the game. We've got to put this one behind us and let's move forward. And I know that's exactly what's being said. They're going to look at that film, or maybe not even look at it. Get rid of the thing, forget it, move on. Let's get on to Tampa Bay. Let's get on to that getting that first round, that home field advantage, and let's play ball.
I know you and I always second second-guessed JT the entire season. So
Without a doubt.
what do you make of that speech?
Oh, I don't know. Listen, I'm not going to second-guess him here tonight. The guy's won 23 of those things. I'm going to leave him alone, okay? It's all good. One other note, though, on that last possession. Over 2 minutes to go with no timeouts is enough time for Drew Brees to drive this team 80 yards. What happens is 2 plays cost him. Number one, he catches a batted ball of his own, which cost him about 25 to 30 seconds, and then a 4-yard pass to Pierre Thomas in the middle of the field, which cost him another 25 or 30 seconds.
All right, I know we can. So since we're second guessing, calling a timeout with 11 minutes to play in the game. What do you make of that one?
Well, I thought that was a little early. Personally, I thought that was a little early. But, he's trying to save the clock, and he knows that they're going to try to eat it up. And the bottom line is that's what happened. Mm-hmm. We're going to go over and do another big play here in a few minutes where they convert a huge play to their fine receiver,
Miles Austin,
on the crossing route, and it eats the clock up. They just run out of time.
Right, and as we have mentioned before, and coaches mentioned before too, the Saints are 13-1 despite losing tonight to Dallas 24-17. They host Tampa Bay on Sunday back at the Superdome. We'll be back with more of our post-game wrap-up here on ABC 26. You watch the Saints and the Cowboys play right here, and we'll be back with lots more in just a minute.
You're watching an ABC 26 News Special, Saints Saturday post-game special. This is an ABC 26 News Special, Saints Saturday post-game special.
Welcome back. Back to the Superdome we go. ABC 26 Sports' Adam Norris. Adam?
All right, thanks, Ed. Pleased to be joined by Saints defensive tackle Remy DAL. Remy, it's rare for a team to go so late into the season without losing a game. To finally have that happen, what was the sentiment, the atmosphere like in the locker room?
Real quiet. You don't like to lose. It's been a long time since we lost around here, so it's a little different. Real quiet today.
When you saw Nick Folk doink that field goal attempt late in the game to give you guys some new life, what was going through your mind?
Absolutely. It's kind of weird. We kind of had a feeling he was going to miss it because he's been missing a few of them the past few weeks, and we knew if we get our offense back out there, we'd have a good chance.
One of the things Sean Payton talked about after the game was third down was so big, both for the Saints offensively and defensively. From a defensive perspective, why do you think the Cowboys were so successful executing those third down plays?
I don't think they had too many third and longs. You got to get teams in third and longs. They had a lot of third and short, so we kind of hurt ourselves on first and second down. And usually when teams always converting, it's 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 4, so it's a lot easier to convert a third down that way.
The coaches always talk about trying to make the opposition one-dimensional. Dallas looks like they did a good job of mixing things up. Their ability to sustain a running game for most of the game, was that pretty key in their success to you?
Yeah, they've been doing that all year. They're a pretty balanced team. All week long we knew that they're a really good running team and they can pass the ball, so we just had to pretty much get off on third down to have a shot of winning.
Will it be big to get Seth Ellis back when he does come back?
Absolutely. Seth's a great player. I love playing in there with him. I thought he was going to go this week, but, we need him later on down the road, so I'm excited to get him back.
This one stings, I'm sure. Will it be tough to put this one behind you guys? Will it shake the team's confidence, or do you still feel good? Do you have the perspective to feel good about where you are still?
We feel good. We're going to learn from this. We're going to watch film, and, we don't want to lose. And now we've lost. We got a little taste of the other side. So I think it's just going to make us work harder and take stuff more serious.
Remy, thanks for your time. Appreciate it. Saints defensive tackle Remy DAL. The Saints losers tonight for the first time all season, guys. Let's head back to you.
Okay, Adam Norris live at the Superdome. Thank you very much. Now, one of the things he said tonight, down in distance, they didn't have many third and longs. I know that's a part of your biblical football testimony. You got to have those short ones to convert it, right?
When you're ahead of the chains, you're going to win the ball game. And one more thing, real quick. I think Romo and the head football coach of the Dallas Cowboys had to prove tonight to the world they could play in December. I think they came in with tremendous motivation tonight. I know Coach Phillips was under a lot of pressure, whether it was real or perceived. He was under it. So was Romo.
And Dallas is now in pretty darn good shape for a chance. This is a rematch game that could happen on January 16th or 17th in the Superdome.
Very much so. They can get into the playoffs without winning another game. Of course, if they win one more, they're absolutely in, but this was a huge win for them tonight. Look, they're a big team up front on offense. They have physical running back in Barber, fast running back in Jones. Austin's a good receiver. Witten's an outstanding tight end. They have weapons, and when they can pin their ears back on defense, they're tough. Another point, Saints always had trouble with 3-4s, don't they?
Yeah. That's a very good point. I think that was certainly evident tonight. We'll be back with more of our post-game show right here on ABC 26 in a minute.
You're watching an ABC 26 News Special, Saints Saturday Post-Game Special. This is an ABC 26 News Special, Saints Saturday Post-Game Special.
Okay, Dallas wins tonight over the Saints 24-17. So maybe the football result wasn't what we all wanted to see tonight, but a lot more football to play. And of course, the Saints play Tampa Bay next Sunday in the Superdome. One thing we want to tell you about tonight that was overwhelmingly positive, we had over 1,200 text messages tonight for folks who were bidding on a Drew Brees autographed football. The money went to the Salvation Army. This was a great thing. The highest bid confirmed was $2,800 for the Drew Brees autographed football, and it went to Broderick Mason. $2,800, and all the money goes to Salvation Army. So that was a wonderful thing. And I just look back at what Drew Brees does for this community. I know he's just signed to football, but an amazing individual. All right, as we head to week 16 and game 15, some final thoughts. Tell me what you're looking for.
Personally, I feel better about the New Orleans Saints than I felt all year long. I think they're right where they need to be. They've got a week to get themselves healthy. They've got now all the pressure's off of them about that 16-0 business. Now they get their guys back. We make a run in the playoffs.
I'm all for that. I think, like I said, I don't think there's any such thing as a good loss, but if you're going to have a loss, I think this is the time to have one.
I believe the focus becomes on the immediate goal, which was the goal all along, and that is to get to the Super Bowl and win it. Forget about the unbeaten season. I think it takes some pressure off. And as we mentioned earlier, they've got to get healthy. They do that, they'll be fine. And right now, the other goal, obviously, is to win out to clinch home field advantage, which gives them a huge opportunity to get where they like to get.
All right, with that, thank you, Mr. Trahan. Appreciate you as always, and Mr. Curtis.
Thank you, buddy.
Always good to
Enjoyed it.
see you.
All right, buddy.
Good to be here. Sorry we couldn't be here on a little bit more of a happier note, but I think there's a lot of great football to be played in December and in January for the New Orleans Saints. Again, the Dallas Cowboys 24, the Saints 17. The Saints, it feels strange to say this, fall to 13-1 on the season. That's just weird. We hope you've enjoyed our coverage here on ABC 26 News, and we're not done. The news follows in just a minute with Michael Hill and Jessica Holly right here on Locker Room after the game.
We definitely didn't play our best game today, but conversely, we played a pretty good opponent tonight, and those two things together, you come up with this outcome.
They executed and we didn't, and when you do that, when the other team is executing and you're not, you're going to lose that game.
Disappointment. You know that at home you're supposed to hold home court, home field or whatever. We didn't play our best football game. When you do that, when the team comes out and plays their best, you're going to lose, and that's exactly what happened.
We just weren't able to get it done today, but just regroup like we've been doing all season, put this one behind us, make the corrections, and get ready for next week.
And next week is a week from tomorrow against the Tampa Bay Bucs at the Superdome. Look, the Saints did not play a good game tonight. Dallas played terrifically, but I think once again we understand just how difficult it is to go undefeated in an NFL season, and here's why so few teams have been able to do it. And as we talked about in the post-game show, no loss is a good loss, but I felt all along that a loss in the right place would benefit in the long run, because all the talk about the perfect season is over, and there's only one goal now, and that's to get to the Super Bowl and win it.
And I think they can do it.
Yep.
All right, thank you, Eddie.
Thanks, Ed.
Some final thoughts. Since it's not raining, let's ask the sports director about
How about that? It's
game
not
tonight.
raining. We had some sunshine out there today. Of course, we didn't have any real ray of sunshine in the dome tonight, but hey, that's the way it goes. I think when you look at it, hey, we understand tonight why it's so hard to go undefeated in an NFL season. 16 games. They got some good fortune against Washington and won by a whisker last week against Atlanta. I think one of the things that you have to look at is this is a team that's been beat up a lot on defense, a lot of injuries, and I think that was a big part of tonight's story. Plus, they couldn't fashion a comeback at the end. But look, Dallas played a great game.
It did.
If you're going to beat the Saints at home, you have to play a great game. Dallas did that tonight. However, if Minnesota can lose at Carolina tomorrow night, then it's no harm, no foul. The Saints have 2 games left, and they have a 2-game lead, and they can clinch home field with a win over Tampa on Sunday. And that's what you're looking for.
And if we had to lose a game, this
like
is
I
the
tell you,
time to do it.
I don't like 16-0. I think that puts way too much pressure on you going into the playoffs. Like I've said before, I think in a way, this is a good thing.
15-1 sounds good.
Like you predicted in August.
That's right.
When I thought that
Didn't
something was wrong with you.
But
it wasn't.
You'll take it
Something
back
may
out.
still be wrong with you.
Thanks for watching ABC 26 News. Remember, you can get more news, sports, and weather on our website, abc26.com.
And we hope you enjoyed our special coverage tonight. We join the ABC movie in progress, Santa Claus 2, right here on ABC 26.
Night.